What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So today, this discussion is going to be pertaining to, I guess, the 6th anniversary season, which of course is going to be season 11, because I believe that this season is going to be kind of a make or break season for COD Mobile. Reason being, of course, is just simply that the frustration levels that the player base are currently experiencing is kind of at an all-time high. And given the sheer amount of people that are currently leaving just simply the rank scene or just COD Mobile in general, whether it be, famous content creators or just normal everyday players of COD Mobile, yeah, things are getting pretty dire at the moment. Not simply how the game functions, like just fundamentally. I mean, the game's pretty bug free for the most part. I haven't really experienced any major bugs, but I will admit there are a lot of balancing issues. I think that's the main primary issue that COD Mobile is facing currently today. Basically, ever since 2025 started for this game, COD Mobile has kind of been on a downward spiral in terms of weapon balancing. And, honestly, I would argue that even before that, it was starting to kind of decline a lot more. The reason why I say that is because ever since the MG42 came out, the balancing of the game just completely went down. We had that, then the BP-50, and then eventually the USS-9, which basically took over the game for basically this entire year. And it's understandable why a lot of people are just frustrated. They're tired of being three-tapped across the map by a USS-9 by a player that most likely has a lot less skill than they do. It's I get it, we're starting to reach this balance trend where it seems to punish a lot of players for being good and just rewarding bad players for being bad. And the truth became a lot more clear once Martyrdom got buffed, where players were basically punished for winning gunfights. And now everyone is rocking that red perk in just ranked multiplayer and a little bit on public matches as well, albeit, there's a little bit more freedom on what you can use in that type of mode. But yeah, overall, Martyrdom kind of just it exacerbated the issue with the USS-9 because now people are rocking that and also the red perk. So yeah, it's becoming a nightmare. And I think most of you guys could probably agree that the meta that we have so far is probably the worst that I think we've ever had it in COD Mobile. Yes, we had the double Phoenix, which were pretty overpowered as well. But keep in mind that lasted like maybe about like 2 months at the very most, and it was over. And a lot of people could argue that the CBR took over for about 2 years. That's true, but it was nowhere near as powerful as what the USS-9 is currently, even after all the nerfs. In fact, they had to buff the CBR to a point where it is far more powerful than what it was back in the day just to keep up with this kind of meta. This doesn't just apply to the CBR. This applies to basically every gun in the game. They're trying to make every gun kill like the USS-9. There are so many assault rifles and SMGs now that have 3-tap capabilities that they didn't have like 2 years ago. So we're in this weird situation where devs are just preferring to buff everything else just to have the same capabilities as the USS-9 rather than just nerf the USS-9 itself so they won't have to worry about buffing other weapons. So again, like I said, balance has been the primary problem for this game since forever, but it's become a bigger issue now in 2024 and 2025. We have people like Narco quitting. We have people like Jokesta quitting. I'm sure there are other YouTubers out there that are considering quitting. I mean, look at Ferg. He's been grinding BR and he's enjoying it. And that's most likely because multiplayer ranked is complete trash right now. People called me crazy for that video that I talked about where I kind of explained why I don't play ranked and just because of the overall toxicity. People called me crazy. And now here we are now. Everyone's fucking leaving the game. And here I am like, well, I was right the whole entire fucking time. I didn't want to believe this, but a while back when a weapon restrictions list was kind of on the table for this game, COD Mobile devs had kind of stated that they didn't really feel comfortable having a restrictions list because of the lack of maturity that the rank scene currently has. At first, I was just like, nah, that couldn't be possible. But at the end of the day, they're kind of right. Multiplayer, at the very least, and even some elements of BR are completely devoid of maturity or any sort of honor at all. There's no honor in any of these wins anymore because it's just everyone's just using the dirtiest methods that they could possibly use. in order to obtain a win. And even for me, I mean, I don't play ranked that often, but even in the matches that I do play, like the more tougher matches, the ones I play with my friends, but dude, the people have no honor these days, man. Like the type of shit that I'm seeing, and I know a lot of you guys have watched my streams constantly. You guys would notice that I'm starting to lose a lot of patience very easily, and that's because no one has fucking honor anymore. Everyone just wants to play the game extremely dirty. I either run into martyrdom users, I run into campers with ghost. I mean, in controller lobbies, we could be a little bit scummy as well, but yeah, it's just everyone's just devoid of any morality at all. And maybe I'm getting to that point where like I feel like I should just start using meta just to punish people. And I've actually been doing that, by the way. Sometimes if I notice a whole team about to pull out a USS 9 or start pulling out something that's kind of cheesy, I just basically say, you know what, fuck it, never mind. I'm just going to pull out my USS 9 and just punish them just for being cowards. So, as much of a fault that the devs have for balancing things in the most shittiest ways possible, it also falls on us too, because, we're the ones abusing these broken mechanics, these broken weapons. I'm even guilty of that. I mean, I don't want to use a fucking meta weapon, but I fucking will. Fuck, you guys push me too far? I will fucking show no mercy on you. I'm at that point now where I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. If you guys want to be dicks, I'll be a dick right back. And usually it comes to my benefit because I end up winning the match a lot easier. But at the end of the day, though, I don't know why the devs are choosing to balance things this way. Like martyrdom was something that no one really even asked for. Like, yeah, it was an annoying perk, but I like none of us were really getting killed by it that often before the buff, right? It was just kind of like that one little annoyance. I mean, martyrdom has kind of been removed from Call of Duty because a lot of players consider it to be kind of cheap. But I mean, even then, I didn't consider it to be that big of a deal because it was only like a death streak in the older games where you had to die like 3 to 4 times and then martyrdom would activate. But even then, it gave you plenty of time to run away. It was extremely hard to die from martyrdom, even back in the day. But here, when they buff the detonation time where it just explodes immediately after you kill the person, yeah, like no one in their right mind would ever do this. I mean, if I was a dev, I would fire the person who did that. Hell, I'd shoot my own foot before I even fucking let that happen because I know the consequences of it. So yeah, balance is dog shit. I'm hoping that they can do something in the future. Maybe with the new movie, maybe by some miracle, they rebalance everything with this new movement update. Because I mean, there was what's that guy's name? Dark Viper on Twitter. I mean, he's like the one that kind of took over Murder Blast after he left. Like he was like a very famous leaker for COD Mobile. He did say that it's going to be a very heavy update with a lot of different features. So I would assume that, the movement updates probably one of those changes, but there might be a lot more stuff that they might introduce. Hell, they might even have a rank restrictions list. I mean, the start of a new rank season should be season 11. So I wouldn't put it past them to have something like that. But again, we've been disappointed before. But I will say this, as fucked up as they are with weapon balance, they have been killing it with features. Having secret cache, finally making the camos cover certain attachments, like better camos, throughout tournament mode and even the secret cache and some collaboration events as well, bringing Borealis in, making, I guess, discounting some draws so that it's like a little bit cheaper to get them. There are plenty of things that they did. I mean, even the wild card system. I know a lot of people have quite a bit of a problem with wild cards, but for me, I personally like the feature. I mean, this was before Martyrdom got buffed, but the fact that you can use two different red perks, I thought that was a pretty nice concept, right? I mean, the nerf that they did last season was pretty retarded, but hey, like I still like the wild card feature no matter what. It's something that I feel like the game can't really go without anymore at this point. So again, I will give it to them for, creating a lot of good features and, just kind of improving the quality of camos and everything in general. I will say that, but they are lacking heavily in the balancing department. And I think it's gone to the point where we don't really care about features at this point. We just want a balanced game. Like, it doesn't matter what you throw at us. I mean, hell, you could even throw the all diamond camo, something that I personally want in this game after so long, but I still won't be satisfied unless we're playing a more balanced game. Really, that's all we want. I think the player base could unanimously agree on this. We just want a decently balanced game. We want restrictions in ranked so people can abuse just cheap stuff. A lot of players just want a decent ranked mode where skill is the determining factor, for wins instead of just who abuses the game more than the other. I even hear that the competitive scene is kind of messing up. Certain players couldn't make it to tournaments because of their visas not, going through properly. There's just a bunch of issues happening within that area as well, where a lot of pro players too are quitting. So I think season 11, I know they're gonna fill it with a bunch of like content, like stuff that will make them money. But it's also important that the features that they bring in, especially when it comes to balancing, they have to be on point for next season because I feel like season 11 could be a make or break season for COD Mobile. And if they don't deliver properly, it's going to get even worse. It's kind of like in that same boat as Black Ops 7 was during the beta. You know how everyone wanted skill based matchmaking to be fully removed and as a permanent thing instead of a playlist. And people were saying, I mean, they need to remove it in order for the game to succeed. And they did just that. So now it's COD Mobile's turn to deliver on something very similar where the game needs to be more balanced. If not, more players are just going to continue to leave. Balls in their court. Let's see what they do with this last season before the year refreshes. Or I think there's probably going to be another season. But yeah, they need to deliver well on this one. If not, it's over, man. I don't know what else to say. But yeah, anyways, guys, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time.